Hi everybody, welcome to All Games New and Old. I am David Rodriguez, and today I am unboxing Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape. This is a really big box of stuff, very thick as you might be able to tell. This is a big dungeon crawling game from CMON, and I've heard fantastic things about it. So we are going to try opening this up and seeing what's inside. Let's take a look at the back first though, as always. It says, 10 years have passed since the Lightbringers defeated the darkness and made the surface world safe. But while the darkness may have been driven back, it was not destroyed. In time, it regained its power and has now launched dire attacks on the world. A new generation of Lightbringers must take up arms and fight against it. If you've got that glint in your eyes, wield your weapons, steel your soul, and prepare for another desperate plunge into the massive darkness. And then over here it says, take on the role of the Lightbringers, a group of heroes setting out to fight the forces of darkness in its own lightless realm. In this thrilling cooperative game, players control different hero classes, each defined by their own unique components and playstyle. Engage hordes of enemies in gritty combat, loot their remains to upgrade your heroes, and use the shadows to your advantage to slay your foes. No game master needed in the standalone game that pits players against the infernal depths and beyond. So it's 1 to 6 players, ages 14 up, looks like about 2 hours per play. So let's pop this sucker open. Now, if you're a usual viewer of my channel, you'll know I usually use a pizza cutter to do this. But I recently moved my studio from the garage up to the master bedroom. And in the process of that move, I've misplaced a few things, and I don't even understand how I did it. So I can't find my pizza cutter, and I can't find my microphone stand for when I do interviews. I don't know what happened. Hopefully I'll figure it out. But today, we're going to use an X-Acto because I didn't want to hold off any more on this. I really wanted to open this since I got it a few days ago, and I just haven't had time to do it. So, we've got it kind of started. Let me pull this sucker open here. Now, I've never played Massive Darkness 1. My understanding is that this is very different from that in terms of the rules. I don't know to what degree. Unfortunately, I won't be able to comment on that once we get it played, but it is supposed to be very different. I do believe I saw that there is an upgrade pack, so if you have the Massive Darkness 1 stuff and you want to transfer it over to this game, you can actually do that. But I won't be needing that unless I get all the Massive Darkness 1 stuff, which I'm not currently planning to do. So, also, I'm trying something a little different with the lighting in here, since this is a different room. I used to do it with all the lights out and just some lights upcoming in front here shining on it, and maybe a light to the side. This time I've decided to leave the lights on and keep the floodlights on me, but let me know if you think this looks better or worse or what have you. So we're going to go ahead and give it a shot, just because it'll make it a little easier for me to do it. I wanted to turn off the lights if anyone else is in the room at the time. All right, or wants to be in the room. All right, I'm going to try to get this off. This is a really tight lid. It's like on there. Like it's hard to even get it to start. I'm getting a little bit of headway here. Just so you know, this is going to be maybe the toughest battle of this game, is getting this lid off of this damn thing. Wowie. I've had some rough ones lately, but this one really takes the cake. I'm trying to pull this apart. Jesus, this is really, really insane. I wonder if there's a record for the amount of time someone has spent trying to open a box from a board game, because this is probably the game that did it, if someone has been there. There we go, finally. Oh my god. That was a tough battle. I'm sorry you had to wait through that. Hopefully my silly chatter was enough to keep it kind of entertaining. Okay, here is our book of rules and quests. So that makes me think it's going to be divided up. I'm not sure. I'm trying to see. Okay, I'm trying to find the end of the rules. Okay, here's the index for the rules. That's on page 36. So I imagine everything before that is rules. So about 35 pages of rules, which is, not a small amount, but not too shocking for this kind of game, I don't think. I feel like dungeon crawlers in general tend to be fairly rules heavy because they have to cover a lot of possibilities and line of sight and whatnot. Looks like a lot of examples in here, which is great. I don't believe I've heard anything bad about how the rulebook is laid out, so that's always helpful. Now, for those of you who have seen other games I've reviewed or seen my collection, you might be saying, dang, Dave, do you really need another dungeon crawling game? And to that I say, mind your own business. I'm just kidding. But like, I like these. And this one has some really interesting stuff to it. I don't know if I'm going to go too much through the quest here because I don't want to blow anything. Although my understanding is out of this box, all the quests are just standalone quests, but they do have expansion boxes that will turn it into a campaign if that's something that you are looking for. All right, so here we have, it looks like a thing to tell you how to pack everything away. Has a thing to get free digital content. I don't know what that could be, but I'm curious. Whew. There's going to be a lot in here, folks, so bear with me. I think a lot of the volume of this box is probably miniatures, so, you know, that's going to be what it's going to be. So I mentioned earlier that this had some differences to other dungeon crawl games. And what I mean by that, I don't know all the specifics yet, but the different character classes that you can pick all have their own sort of like mini game that they're trying to do to get their stuff done. So, for instance, like the Ranger has this little deck of cards that represent his arrows. And each card at the top, along with whatever else it says, has, I think between 1 and 3 arrows. I could be wrong about that, but, you know, ballpark. And so when you're trying to use his arrows, it's like a push your luck game. So you flip a card over, and what you're trying to do is ideally hit 7, but you definitely don't want to go over because then you bust and you don't get a good result. If you go under, you get an okay result, but not as good as if you can hit 7 exactly. But it is push your luck. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. So that's kind of interesting. I really like that. There's a 3M sticker on this. Okay, no, it's not a sticker. Okay, I was a little worried. It felt like a sticker to me. The Rogue has some kind of like a bag building system going on. I'm not sure. I'm gonna get this a little closer so you can see. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but that's what we've got. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. I think this is kind of like a round tracker in the game. I'm not sure if I'm right, but I think when you get to like certain spots, it'll do different things. So I could be wrong, but it's definitely a tracker for something, and I am definitely right that it'll do certain things as you get to different spots. Okay, this looks like it's kind of randomly just sitting there on its own. Get that a little closer. This is Michael. I think this is a bad guy. Someone you could fight, maybe a boss character. I'm not sure why the card is just kind of resting there on the top all by itself. Maybe it's different than the others. I don't know. So here are some of the, I believe some of like the player board type stuff. Like this is, if I remember right, the Paladins. I don't remember exactly how this works, but you're going to be placing tokens on these. Again, not certain how that goes. Looks like there's some things to keep track of leveling. So something to do with elementals. I'm not sure what, but interesting stuff. Very nice looking components, I think. Okay. Here's some more cool tokens. This is another one of the characters. I can't remember which one. Let's say I believe I'm right. But yeah, it's really neat that they each have their own thing. I like it. They don't sound like they're overly complicated, but I really like that you really get more variety than like, well, I roll dice when I'm casting a spell, and I roll dice when I'm doing this. And I think you do still roll dice, but the fact that you have these other things to kind of add to it, that's really exciting to me. So I'm excited to see how that all implements. Here's some like bridges, it looks like, which I assume just go on top of the map wherever you need them. I'm not sure. This is interesting. Okay, we have hearts and little spiky deals. I'm guessing this is life and mana. You know, don't quote me on that, but I think that's right. And just a whole bunch more tokens besides that. Some of these, I'm guessing, have something to do with the rogue, because you got the bag building part, but not all of them. So there's quite a lot, as you can see, and as you might have guessed from just the type of game it is. All right, here we have a pack of cards. I'm guessing these are kind of bigger monsters. So if I remember right, there's like your regular monsters, which are your, you know, kind of easier to defeat creatures. And then you have roaming monsters, which are bigger. Like they're a much bigger problem when they come out onto the board. But they're not the boss. When the bosses come out, that's when it's really rough. But let's take a look at some of these here. I'm going to zoom in. Lyadan, the Incubus Lord. Here, let me move this out of the way. Let's make it kind of tough. So Lyadan, the Incubus Lord. Eutheria, the Undead Queen. The Ghoul. Andra. Let's see, are those are roaming monsters. Okay, but they're different levels. Okay, so I think it's the same ones, but you can get them at different levels, different strengths. So that's kind of cool. Okay, let's put those aside. Now, let's bring this back over here. I'm zooming this out, but I'm going to be zooming it back in a second. I just kind of want to show you guys how this is packed in here because I'm curious. Okay, you know what? Actually, before I get to the models, let's look at some of this stuff. So we have the bag for the Rogue that I mentioned that you're going to be pulling tokens out of. I don't know the exact system for that, but looks really interesting. This is another bag. I'm not sure what this one is for, but it's got a lock on it, so that may be something. You have your really nice player boards where you can keep track of your character and the items that you have and whatnot. Like it looks like it has space for like head, chest, feet. These might be just some other kind of item. There's one-handed weapon, two-handed weapon, and then these track your experience points. So really nifty kind of way to track stuff. I like that it's all here on these boards. Let's get this out of the way here. Those are really cool. Okay. Hoo boy. All right, let's get these tiles out. I just want to check out some of the art on these big room tiles. They all seem to be the same dimensions. They're all these kind of 9x9 squares, which is kind of interesting. Let me see if I can poke through here. Okay, we're getting there. All right, we're getting there. I'm opening it up. Let's see what we got. I'm guessing these are probably all going to be double-sided. All right. So one thing that's kind of interesting about this game, from what I understand, is there's different types of rooms. Like some of them are lit up, as you can see by the torches, and then some of them are in darkness. Now, in most of this kind of game, you would probably expect that if you're in the darkness, it's a disadvantage for you. You know, you can't see as well, for instance. But in this game, it's actually kind of a positive because you get to roll an extra die that you only get to roll when you're in the darkness, and it can give you more positive effects. I don't know if it has like a extra negative effect maybe on it or not, but I really think that's kind of interesting. Now, I like that thematically. I don't know how much it really matters, because if you think about it, if they just gone ahead and said, well, in darkness you don't have the power up, but in light you do, it would really be exactly the same. You'd just be looking for different squares. But I do like the concept of it. The art on here is really pretty nice as well. Like I am definitely liking it. I'm hoping the 9x9 grids don't seem too boring after time. You know, they're fairly varied, and I'm sure like the missions make them more exciting than they might otherwise be, but we'll see about that. Okay, let's get in here. So we've got some cool, like, let's see, I don't know if I can pull this out really, but this cool, I'm not going to try because I'm messing it up. This cool plastic thing for the cards, which I think once you get everything set in there, should keep them in place. Let's pop this open because this looks like it has the character classes. And that's like the main thing I want to check out. Character classes and maybe like monsters. I don't think I'm going to look through all the items. I think you probably will get it. It's going to be variations on weapons and whatnot, which is cool, but not necessarily that different from anything else. All right, let me zoom in here. Okay. So we have Nahias, the ranger, anything on the back. Oh, just like a cooler picture. All right. Urk, the shaman. This looks something like a insect kind of character, maybe. I'm not sure. Mathrin, the wizard. He's very cool. I like this big, like, kind of like tribal skull-looking thing he has on his chest. That's neat. Geta, the berserker. Looks pretty berserk. Sir Ronan, the paladin. Phaedra, the rogue. Okay, and that's it for the main characters in this box. Okay, so these are all, actually, I don't know. Okay, so let's get to the mobs. That's what we want to see, I think. Okay, so there's different level mobs. I'm not going to look at the doors. That's probably not super exciting to look at on here. Okay, let's see what kind of things are. These might be all different levels, because I think it's like the bosses have like the different color ones, but they're all the same. We'll see. The skeletons, gargoyles, infernal imps, demons, fallen angels, undead, satyrs. I'm not sure if I'm saying those right. I never knew how to say those. Fire entities. Okay, and then, yeah, I think we're getting the same thing again, but different strength, apparently. So that's cool. Got a few good boss areas. So in this one, you're actually, like, delving into hell, as you might have guessed by the name. So that's why they're all like these weird kind of infernal things. So you have starting equipment and then more. Yeah, I'm not going to open these right now because you get it, I think. And I think that kind of thing is kind of more fun to leave as a separate thing. So this is, okay, so here, like this card here is going to be for the archer. So that card has like 4 arrows, right? So you get to draw that one out, and then you could stop there. And if you stop there, you're going to get whatever the bonus is in the middle one, because you didn't quite hit the 7. If you get exactly 7, you'll get whatever this bonus is here. But if you bust, you get this one, which actually looks like a negative. So kind of interesting. I like that push your luck thing. That sounds actually really, really fun to me. So Ranger might be one of the first ones I try. We'll see. And this is, okay, mob items. So I think you can basically equip bad guys with weapons too. So that's kind of cool. Maybe we'll take a look at some of these. Okay, so hold on, what's this? Okay, so we have typical kind of plastic rings, so you can easily tell at a glance what belongs to what character. Here's little pegs for your player board, so you can keep track of your experience and whatnot. Then we have a few different types of dice here. Let me get them all out. So the blue one has like various shields on it. The purple one, I believe that is the darkness dice. I don't know what all the symbols mean, but I think they might all be positive, actually. So I could be wrong, but that's pretty nice. It really kind of makes you want to stay in the dark. You have the yellow and orange ones, which look similar. I'm guessing maybe one of them has more successes than the other does. So one's likely better, I'm guessing. This one has like claw marks and like actual like the claws themselves on it. So I wonder if those are like the bad guy dice maybe? I'm not certain. I don't remember. I watched a video about it, but I just don't recall all the details. All right. So now let's get to the real fancy part here. Let's get to these models. So let me zoom out a little bit so you can see what we have here. This stuff takes up so much space. Okay. I wonder if they taped this. Have they taped it? Yes, they did. Okay. All right, I'm gonna have to cut through here to separate this because it has like a, top kind of like shell layer, I guess you might call it. And I won't be able to pull this off unless I deal with that. So I'm trying to deal with that. Let's see. So this being a dungeon crawler, and there being several out there, I'm curious if you, dear viewer, have any real favorite dungeon crawlers that, really have stood out to you. I mean, I expect, if I get a lot of answers, I'm expecting a lot of them will be Gloomhaven, but that's fine. I'm curious about that. But if you have any others, let me know. And if you have found that you like this one better than that one, whatever it might be, I'd love to hear why, just your thoughts on it. Okay. Wowie. There's a lot going on. Okay, so I've pulled this out. Let me just kind of move this over and kind of see how it's all laid in here. And then, oh, that one might have another shell on it. I don't know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these to the side. That way I can pull the models out and show you, and the other stuff in the background hopefully will let it focus a little easier. Sometimes it kind of freaks it out when it has to focus and there's a lot of stuff right in the way. So, let's see here. This looks like it's probably like a skeleton warrior, maybe. Looks like. And you get, these monsters, you get several of them if they're like the smaller type. Okay, I don't remember all the types are, but he is a real ugly beast for sure, whatever he is. Okay. Okay. This guy looks pretty brutal. He's all sticking his tongue out at us. I'm hoping, it's hard to tell if that's in focus or not, but looks pretty nasty. This guy has the whole like goat head thing going on, so he's got the kind of classical like devil look, I guess you could say. And let's see. Oh, I'm trying to get this guy out. Okay. This guy, I think this might be like were they firearms? There's some kind of imps that were in there. That's kind of cool. A little more squat looking than the other guys, although I don't think it's actually much shorter. Okay. let's get to these. I gotta pull off this thing. These have some really neat looking ones in here. Man, they're all taped. Good grief. It's probably necessary for shipping, but man, is that a pain in the butt when you're just trying to get to your toys, you know? But it's good. It's probably for the best. Okay. Let me get that off. Cool. Okay. All right, they're looking even more neat than the other ones. Some of them are. Okay, so this guy, I'm guessing this might be one of the gargoyles, maybe. I'm trying to go off memory and off of the art I saw, which I don't know if it's going to totally lead me to the correct things here. These are really cool looking demon folks. I was trying to decide if I would have rather had like the classic fantasy thing, which I think Massive Darkness 1 might have been. I don't know. I do like that a lot, but I kind of like the crazy, like spooky, demonic stuff too. It looks really neat. Like, look at that wing. That wing is all jacked up. But so these are probably the fallen angels, I assume. Okay. Oops. All right. Let's get. Okay, now we're getting into some big guys here and some of the heroes as well. So, let's take a peek. We'll start with kind of the smaller ones first. Not that he's small. It's a big kind of crazy knight with this big hammer looking thing. That's really good. Maybe this is the gargoyle, because I always think of gargoyles as having wings, and he's definitely got wings. So, really nice, high quality miniatures. I mean, it's what you'd expect from CMON, I think. I don't think that's shocking to anybody that they're, that they're good miniatures. Yeah, I think I kind of dig this crazy, like, messed up angel look that they have going on with some of these. Okay. These would be really fun to paint. I don't know if I'll ever get to them because, man, that is hard to find the time to do. This guy's kind of weird. A lot of detail. I don't like this pose because it seems very static, but maybe it makes sense for whoever the character is. But yeah, he's kind of standing with his arm to the side with his swords up. It's fine. Not super interesting. Okay, I don't even know what's going on with this guy. There's some smoky parts down here, but really unusual design. I think when you get into this kind of stuff, it gives you a lot of freedom to create some really unusual looking characters. Here's another guy who's got like kind of the goat man thing going on. That's cool. Okay, this is actually a pretty big one. Ooh, man, look at that guy. Dang, that's cool. You know, one thing I heard is that these models are kind of spindly. They have a lot of like small, pokey bits on them, which, is kind of, worrisome. Like they could possibly break, although it feels like they're made of good sturdy stuff. So I don't know if it's a real big problem, but maybe. This is a lot bigger than I thought. I think this is the ghoul, if I remember right from the cards. He is much bigger than I thought. He almost looks kind of mechanical because he has all these kind of robotic looking pieces all over him. That's really interesting. Okay, we have to be getting into the big bosses here. Oh geez, I'm trying to get this guy out and he's like really stuck in. Okay, here we go. Wow, really neat designs. I like this thing around him, and I like that it's kind of tilted back. I think that actually makes it look cooler. Okay. We're going to get through all these bosses, then we'll look at the characters that you play. He has kind of like a bird head thing going, but oh god, these are just massive. They're so big, it's crazy. Okay, this guy, jeez man, I almost can't believe some of these models. This guy is really huge. And I just keep thinking, like, if you got a model this big from Games Workshop, it probably would have cost almost as much as this entire game. So, I'm definitely impressed with that. That is phenomenal looking. Wow, I'm almost in disbelief. Okay, here's the last of the big bosses. We've got some tentacle stuff going on. He's like a tentacle centaur, octopus centaur. Or kind of like Ursula from Disney, maybe. Oh, gosh, there's still a little guy back here that I didn't even... Oh, no. Okay, wait, hold on. One of these guys is... I don't know if he's missing an arm, but it needs to be glued. Okay, so this guy actually needs to have his arm glued on. I see. At least I don't think it broke. I don't know if it did. It might have actually broke in shipping, which is something that we were talking about. That they were kind of like spindly and maybe easy to break. So, well, I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to figure that out. If so, that's a bit of a bummer because, you know, it's brand new, but I do have the stuff to fix them. So, all right. This is a little guy. I didn't even see him behind that other big dude, but that's in there too. All right. Let's look at some of these heroes. At least I think they're heroes. There's this cool, like, centaur looking dude. I didn't even remember from the pictures that one of them was a centaur. I don't know if I realized it. But that's really cool. All right. This might be the paladin. I don't know. I don't remember what they all look like, but kind of nice. Good that they made them a different color than the bad guys. I mean, it doesn't matter too much, but probably preferable. This is for sure the rogue. Love that. Looks really great. Okay, this might be the berserker. There's a lot going on with this guy. Looks like a berserker to me. Okay. We have the druid. This is the one that's kind of like almost insect looking. Really interesting. Okay, and I'm trying to remember if this was like a cleric or what, but he's the one with that like skull thing on his chest. Okay. So that's it. You know, other than the one that's a little broken, it looks like it's pretty much intact, and I'm hoping I can fix that broken one pretty easily. We'll see. I've dealt with worse, I think. So anyway, that is my unboxing of Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape. I really want to try this soon because it has a lot of cool expansions and add-ons to it, and I want to see if this is a game that I want to delve into those add-ons with. So we will see, but I'm very excited about this one. If you are too, let me know about it because I would love to hear. But in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit like and subscribe and click the little bell icon so you can know about the next time I put out a video. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you all around the table again at All Games New and Old. Bye. If you enjoyed that video, you might also like this one.
Or this one.
If you like any of our videos, what you should do is click this little button to subscribe so you'll know about the next time we put out a video.
We'll see you around the table.
Bye.
Bye.